Good morning. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of your breakfast on Leadership Television Inside Nigeria. My name is Winifred Webo, your host on the program. Without much ado, we have a newspaper review on today's show. And of course, we have some papers on our lineup for review, including Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership. Let's go to Leadership and review what they have on their menu. Leadership, here we come. Leadership has two main cover before the cover continue the stories. And the main story says, political analysts to PDP leaders, fix now or allow crisis sink your party before 2027. Political analysts to PDP leaders, fix now or allow crisis sink your party before 2027. NEC reinstates Anyanwu as National Secretary. Analysts blame indiscipline, battle for resources for parties' unending crisis. Party leaders condemn police siege at party headquarters. These are kickers to the leading story on today's Leadership this Tuesday, July 1st. Happy New Month, viewers. I forgot to tell you that at the start of the program. However, it's better late than never. Happy New Month. Welcome to the month of July 1, 2025. Political analysts to PDP leaders, fix now or allow crisis sink your party before 2027. This came as a result of the NEC meeting they had yesterday, where they reinstated Anyanwu as National Secretary, which has also been the bone of contention of the gladiators in the party. But NEC, during their meeting yesterday, reinstated Anyanwu as National Secretary. Analysts blame indiscipline, battle for resources for parties' unending crisis. Party leaders condemn police siege at party headquarters. The story runs on page 8 of Leadership newspaper. We're looking at, we have scenes of protest by Kwara residents yesterday over insecurity in the state. These are the pictures gracing the cover underneath that PDP story. We saw pictures, scenes of Asoni's protesters at Ilorin, Kwara yesterday. Still on Leadership newspaper, IDP's corpse exhumed, born to arches in Taraba. IDP's corpse exhumed, born to arches in Taraba. Senator Natasha Arend gets bail. Protesters touch NDLEA office, vandalize Monarch's Palace in Kwara. Those are the pictures you have on the cover of Leadership. Protesters touch NDLEA office, vandalize Monarch's Palace in Kwara. Tinubu laws case transformational leadership. The story runs on page 17 of Leadership. NEC APC picks new national chairman July 24. The story is on page 28 of Leadership. And on the business boss of Leadership, NCAA grants Rano Air after engine failure. The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, has ordered the immediate grounding of Rano aircraft 5NBZY following an engine failure incident. This directive is part of the NCAA strict enforcement of aviation safety protocol compliance across all carriers operating in the Nigerian airspace. The affected Rano aircraft experienced a malfunction on engine 1 during operations, and smoke was observed in the cabin and cockpit. In response, the flight crew immediately donned oxygen masks and activated all appropriate emergency procedures to prepare for safe landing. Excerpts from the news on the business boss of Leadership this Tuesday. NCAA grants Rano Air after engine failure. That takes us to the stories above the masthead of Leadership. 2027, coalition woos ex-president Jonathan. 2027, coalition woos ex-president Jonathan. The story is on page 28 of Leadership. Badaru leads federal government's delegation to Saudi Arabia as Dantata's burial holds today. This continues on page 14 of Leadership. We move ahead from the cover to page 3 of the paper, where we have, but this time it's page 5 because of the wraparound on the cover. Page 5, where we have our stance, says drug abuse, time to confront the issue. Drug abuse, time to confront the issue. When President Bola Tinubu declared that the fight against drug abuse must transcend government efforts and become a national movement, he underscored the truth Nigeria has long ignored. The drug crisis is no longer a fringe problem. It is a mainstream emergency rooted in poverty, inequality, violence, and social decay. And unless the country wakes up to this grim reality, the risk of losing a generation to addiction, Criminality and despair is all too pervasive. The statistics are not just sobering, they are damning. In the past 53 months, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has arrested over 66,000 offenders, seized 11 million kilograms of illicit substances, and secured over 12,000 convictions. We move towards the stand, towards the tail end. Above all, he said, and parents, faith-based organizations and traditional rulers must not remain silent. Their influence in shaping values and behavior is unmatched. We need sermons and palace pronouncements that do more than condemn drug abuse. They must offer hope, guidance, and pathways to recovery. And parents must return to the basics. A generation of children is being raised on screens and silence. More than ever, they need presence, boundaries, and purpose. No anti-drug campaign can succeed without the family unit being restored to its rightful place as the first line of defense. Above all, we urge a shift in mindset. Drug users are not criminals. They are citizens in crisis. They need help, not handcuffs. They need support, not stigma. In Nigeria that jails the sick while allowing traffickers to walk free is not only unjust, it is self-destructive. Excerpts from today's stand in Leadership newspaper. Drug abuse, time to confront the issue. From the page 5, where we have our stand today, we move to the back page of the paper, where we have Tuesday column with Abdurrauf Aliyu. Tuesday column with Abdurrauf Aliyu, and today he's writing on reform or retreat, a moment for northern states. Reform or retreat, a moment for northern states. In quote, this is not just administrative reform, it is institutional redesign. States are not losing autonomy. We move to Ghana must go. No sacrifice too much for Rivers people. Fubara and Ghana must go ask, since when? That is a good one. It's on that note we conclude review of Leadership newspaper this Tuesday. We move to the next paper we have on our lineup, and that is THISDAY. This day's leading story says Peter Obi hints at possible run in 2027 presidential election. Peter Obi hints at possible run in 2027 presidential election. Says he's willing to do one term in office, denies any joint ticket with Atiku. Pledges to stabilize country, highlights agenda for national rebirth. I think we should see some excerpts from that leading story. Labour Party standard bearer in 2023, Peter Obi has again hinted his numerous supporters at home and abroad that he will likely contest the presidency in 2027 and will be willing to do one term in office. According to statements by his media aide, Ibrahim Umar, Obi posted on his handle his engagement with his supporters were provided answers to their concerns on typical national issues. He declared his intention to run for the presidency in 2027. I have not joined in any form of discussion on joint tickets, including with Atiku. If there's any form of agreement that will restrict me to 4 years in office, I will comply with the agreement and be ready to leave in 2031. Yes, obviously. And those are the excerpts from the leading story on THISDAY newspaper today. Peter Obi hints at possible run in 2027 presidential election. Says he's willing to do one term in office, denies any joint ticket with Atiku. Pledges to stabilize country, highlights agenda for national rebirth. The second also leading story on the cover of THISDAY today, PDP's 100th NEC meeting. PDP reaffirms Anyanwu as national secretary. The story runs on page 20 of THISDAY newspaper. Those are the two leading stories on the cover of THISDAY this Tuesday. For more, log into the website of THISDAY newspaper. We move ahead to the next paper we have on our lineup, and that is Nigerian Tribune. Nigerian Tribune says PDP NEC meets reinstates Anyanwu as national secretary. Rivers Reps Committee queries proposed 24 billion naira for CCTV installation, 30 billion naira for purchase of gunboats. Rivers Reps Committee queries proposed 24 billion naira for CCTV installation, 30 billion naira for purchase of gunboats. The story continues on page 5 of Nigerian Tribune. Don't forget to log into the website of Nigerian Tribune for continuation of those headline stories. We move to the next paper we have on our lineup, and that is The Guardian. The Guardian says how interest overlapping roles may undermine new tax regime. How interest overlapping rules may undermine new tax regime. The story runs on page 6 of The Guardian. Of course, this is coming on the heels of the signing into act the 4 tax reform bills by President Bola Tinubu last week. Obi denies part with Atiku, backs rotational presidency. How Shettima stoked APC's early NEC meeting. Senator Natasha arraigned on alleged cybercrime, granted bail. Senator Natasha arraigned on alleged cybercrime, granted bail. Calls to strip President of power to appoint INEC officials intensify. PDP upbeat on party's prospects after NEC meeting. OK's announced reinstatement. PDP upbeat on party's prospects after NEC meeting. OK's announced reinstatement. Residents urge Fubara to make public peace conditions with Wike. Court sentences pastor to 25 years imprisonment for defiling daughter. Report links 871,000 yearly deaths to loneliness. The story is on page 5 of The Guardian. Report links 871,000 yearly deaths to loneliness. With that, we conclude review of front headline stories on The Guardian newspaper this morning. Don't forget to log into the website of The Guardian for continuation of these headline stories. We move to the next paper we have on our lineup, and that is The Punch, and it said that is the last paper we have for review this Tuesday. In The Punch newspaper says NEC fallout, worrying PDP blocs will reunite for 2027 showdown. NEC fallout, worrying PDP blocs reunite for 2027 showdown. Governors Damagun Saraki assert PDP unity. One APC Southeast PDP rejects Wike allies return. These are kickers to the leading story on The Punch this Tuesday, July 1, 2025. NEC fallout, worrying PDP blocs reunite for 2027 showdown. Governors Damagun Saraki assert PDP unity. One APC Southeast PDP rejects Wike's allies return. We move to just the story beside the masthead. We can see that clearly. Tinubu may restore Fubara Rivers lawmakers in July. Emergency rule. Tinubu may restore Fubara Rivers lawmakers in July. And with that, we conclude review of front headline stories on The Punch newspaper this morning. Don't forget to log into the website of The Punch for continuation of these headline stories. Well, it's on that note we conclude today's Inside Nigeria newspaper review brought to you on Leadership Television. Don't forget to log in to this website for news on the app. Until I come your way again, same time, same station tomorrow for another fresh edition of the program. My name is Winifred Ogbevo. Thanking you for joining in.
Be part of our brand. Leadership for God and